benefits are so many. I will not go through them now, but I want to emphasize this, that at the fall, work was not cast. It was the ground that God cast. God cast the ground because man disobeyed. There are 4 relationships which I'm not going to, but God had a relationship with God, relationship with this man himself, relationship with his wife, and relationship with the ground. Those 4 relationships were very important, and all the 4 were affected at the fall. He disconnected with his father, he disconnected with himself. He started to see himself as a victim instead of a loved son of God. That was affected. That is a major problem for many people. They see themselves as victims all the time. It's an inferiority complex. You can't achieve much in work if that issue is not sorted. People who have come from families where they have been battered, you employ them, they have a problem. They never innovate, they cannot create, they always fear. These are relationships or things that are so important. The third relationship was his wife, it's changed, but also the 4th relationship with the ground. When man's relationship with the ground was affected, now he was going to have to work very hard to get very out of it. We call that toil. Toil is not the same as work. God wanted man to work, he worked and get much. Toil is that repetitive work that you put into something without creative innovation, creative imagination. That's not for man. That was for ox, for horses. But man is supposed to work smart. The more your mind works smart, the more you create value, the more you enjoy the benefit of your work. So God did not cast work because he himself is a worker. God is not a dreamer. God is a what? A worker. He worked 6 days and rested 1 day. Today, especially young people, want to work 1 day and rest 6 days. You see that difference? God worked 6 days and rested 1 day. So it's important to have the proper work ethic. Look at another one. The next slide is physical strength. As we work, God created our bodies that we maintain our health by work. People who just oversit and they don't work or they don't think, they end up being unhappy. You will see that when people retire. They have been vigorous, they have been energetic, they have been happy. The moment they retire and they are idle, you start to see them die very quickly. Have you noticed that? When people retire, especially, and they have nothing to do, they start to die because work sustains your life. God created you to work, you find satisfaction in it. Continue. Number 6, psychological. It's a psychological thing. It's a source of satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment. Every time you accomplish something, you feel good because you have the nature of God. When God created the first day, he said, it is good, that is satisfaction. Second day, he said, it's good, satisfaction. You feel something good when you struggle and accomplish something. Then on the last day, on the 6th day, he said, it is very good. It's a sense of accomplishment which God built within us. It's inbuilt. So when you accomplish nothing, you are idle, disorderly, you start to die inside you. You are still alive, but you die. It also sustains life. Number 8 is the legitimate means to creating wealth. Now I want to put it in a practical way. Can you move to the next slide, please? I want to read a specific scripture that deals with work as staff, people here in the URA, your staff in your company, want something that directly affects us that way. And I read the scripture in Ephesians 4:28. It says, he who has been stealing. Can we read this together? Are you able to read? He who has been stealing must steal no longer, but rather let him work, making an honest living with his own hands, so that he may be able to give to those in need. I want to just direct that verse alone, and you see the impact of that. Paul is saying, it starts with the negative. Stop the negative, go to the positive, and then you can give. So the negative is stealing. And is implied here is the opposite of work. When people don't want to work, they want to get without working, because the only legitimate means of acquiring before God is only through work. What you've worked for, you can bequeath to your children, but the only way you got it in the first place is through work. Only work creates wealth. So that is it. Now, when he says stop stealing, that is commandment number 8, thou shalt not steal. Because God ordained ownership and property, that's why he said stop stealing. You can't steal something which has no owner. When he said stop stealing, he immediately implied that there is ownership and property. So when you work, you own. You own what you work for. And in the spirit realm, you have a title. I put it that way because you understand it better. What you have worked for in the spirit realm, you have a title for it, with your name on it. And that's how the spirit realm reads it. You have ownership and you have a title for what you have worked for. What you have not worked for, you have no title. Means you cannot keep it. And the implications of that are immense, and I'm going to show it shortly. So, he says, therefore, work, which is the legitimate means of acquiring ownership and title, is after you've worked and acquired, then you can share with others. This is God's idea for all of us. Incidentally, original capitalism, biblical capitalism, had these components. Current capitalism, where it takes away the third part, you keep acquiring and greed without a sense of community, without a sense of responsibility. That's not biblical. Where you keep acquiring and using everything in your means to just get from everybody, that is not biblical capitalism. There is the biblical capitalism that is honored by God, where you work hard, where you don't steal from others, but you keep acquiring, and then you also share. That is God's idea.